Welcome back, traders. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Tesla, TSLA. I'll give you my prediction on where I think Tesla is headed next, whether it's upwards or downwards, and what trade you should take based off of this. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts and my analysis on Tesla, you're definitely in the right place. Stay tuned, and I'll dive into all of that and more. Real quick before we get started, just a quick reminder, if you like this content, click that like and subscribe buttons below. This supports me a ton, and I really appreciate it. So let's dive into the Tesla chart. Now I did an analysis of Tesla back in January of 2021, and that's the last time I posted an analysis of Tesla on my YouTube channel. Now here's a shot from the end of my video in January 2021, when Tesla was running all the way up near $900 in this video. You can see we were around $880 when I released this video. At that point in time, I told you that we might potentially peak on Tesla right inside of this small box right into here, which was basically around the $850 to $900 range. And if not, I was expecting us to have one more small push up, basically towards that even $1,000. And I told you that once it peaked in one of these boxes, we were going to see Tesla drop to sub $500. That's my little box right into here. It basically ranges from around $380 up to about $500. So now going back to real time here, this is the current price action. We're sitting around $680, and you can see my video was actually when we were in this little peak into here when the price was $880. Now we did get one more tiny push upwards and we peaked around $900 in Tesla, but overall my prediction was extremely close. I essentially had us peaking within the next $100 between that $880 we were at and all the way up to $1,000, and we peaked shortly after my video, which is what I was kind of expecting. So the other thing you saw there is that I had an ABC downwards from our peak. So in this YouTube video, I have this ABC. Now this is my forecasting tool that I use called Elliott Wave Theory. It's super complex. And as a result, I actually have a 10-part playlist on it. It's over 2 hours of content. If you want to go check it out, it'll give you all the rules and guidelines, and it'll help you out a ton with your trading. In the meantime, I'm going to give you a 30-second summary on what Elliott Wave Theory is. Elliott Wave Theory basically states that the market trends upwards in waves of fives. So this yellow 5-wave move that you see right here, I'll put the wave on it so it's a little bit more clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then once that 5-wave move finishes, it essentially forms an ABC downwards. Just as I had that white ABC that looked something like this in the previous video. Change it to white here so that it's the same. And that's essentially what I was looking for. So once the market has that 5-wave move upwards, we get this ABC downwards. And this continues over and over again inside of the market, and it also continues inside of each of these waves. So for example, inside of this third wave right here, this 3 that I have labeled in yellow, there's another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure inside of that. And inside of the 4 wave right here, there's another ABC structure. Or actually, in this case, there's a triangle inside of this 4th wave. It's another alternative instead of ABC. It can basically be A, B, C, D, E instead. But again, I won't dive too deep into that. The general idea is that we get this 5-wave move upwards, a 3-wave move downwards, and there are a bunch of different rules and guidelines that'll help us determine whether or not we're labeling things correctly. Now in my previous video, I validated this 5-wave move upwards based on all the rules and guidelines. If you want to go check that out, definitely feel free to. At this point, I'm going to assume that this is basically just known at this point in time. We have this 5-wave structure, it's valid, we got this peak, we're looking for that ABC downwards as you saw in my YouTube video from January. So now how do we know where we are inside of that ABC? That's basically all that we're going to be diving into today. So before I get started on even looking at this price action over here, one thing I'm going to do is use a tool called the Fibonacci Retracement. This tool is basically going to tell you the percentage retracement of whatever move you pull it from. So for example, if we had price action that looked something like this all the way up through here, and then we came downwards, and we pulled our Fibonacci retracement from the low right here as our first click with the tool, and the high up here is our second click with the tool. Wherever we come down to on these numbers on the right hand side here is the percent that we pulled back of that move. So you can see this basically comes down to this red 0.5 right here. That essentially means that it's a 50% retracement or a halfway pullback of this entire move upwards into here. Now, because this whole structure that I have here is labeled as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's basically from a market low into here, As I said, this forms waves within other waves in Elliott Wave Theory. So this whole yellow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 actually forms another one wave on a larger degree. And then we'd be looking for that 2, which is made up of that A, B, C we were talking about, and then 3, 4, 5 would come much higher and much later. Now let me turn up the degree on this because it is a higher time frame. I'm going to change the color just so we can separate it a bit easier. And there you go. This yellow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 makes up this pink 1 wave. So now we're looking for this 2 wave to come. In Elliott Wave Theory, the most common spot for a 2 wave to fall is between this red 0.5 or a 50% retracement and this yellow 0.65 or a 65% retracement. So if we just go back to our overall structure, I'm going to put a Fibonacci retracement on my chart from the lows down here around $34. Click at the very top up here for my Fibonacci retracement, and I'm just going to move this sideways, keeping the top all the way at the top there, just so that it can cover more of my chart. And this is basically why I was predicting prices down sub 500 for our correction on Tesla. If you look between that most common zone that I was just talking about, it's right around here from about $470 down to about $330 on Tesla. This is the most common spot for a retracement to come to when we have a 1-2. So that's going to help me guide my thought process behind, has this correction already finished? Do we have more down to go? It's going to lead me towards a bearish bias because we've barely made it to this 0.382 or 38.2% retracement. Now, of course, it's possible that the end of the retracement is at this 38.2%. It's just much more likely for us to come down to this red line at least. So with that in mind, let's dive into the price action and see if it supports more price action downwards. Are we actually bearish, or maybe the correction really just was this shallow and we're going to head back upwards? Now, there are a couple different things that I'm going to anchor my thoughts based off of, and I'm going to start with those because when I'm first looking at this, it's hard to make anything of an original A, B, C count into here because we get a lot of this choppy sideways action basically from March of this year all the way through where we are right now. So some of the very clearest things I see are that from this low down here, we definitely have some sort of A, B, C off of the bottom. Looks just like this. I don't think there's any way you could count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instead of an A, B, C. So that's one of the first things I'm going to label onto my chart. The next thing I see here is that we do kind of get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into this price action right here, but there's one problem with it, and I'm going to turn on degree and then we'll dive into it. So the one problem is that the 1 wave and the 4 wave overlap. So the price action of where the 1 wave ends up through here, if we were to just pull that box sideways, you can see the 4 actually comes below that 1 wave. We get quite a few wicks down below this box that we just drew. Now this is okay, it happens in Elliott Wave Theory and it can be called a diagonal, but there's quite a few different rules that have to be valid for this diagonal to actually be in play. So what we do with the diagonal is we connect the 2 and the 4 just like this, and as of now we don't know if the 4 finishes here or here or here. We'll just say it's the first one for now and draw a parallel line on that, and then we'll do the same thing from the 1 to the 3 into here. You can see that no matter where we use as our bottom pivot into here, these two lines are moving away from each other. It's known as an expanding diagonal. And in an expanding diagonal, the 3rd wave has to be longer than the 1 wave, and just by eyeballing it, we can pretty much see that that's the case. But the 5th wave also has to be longer than the 3rd wave. To do this, we'll check our trend-based Fib extension tool up here. We're going to click at the bottom and the top of our 3rd wave into here, and this is going to capture the length of our 3rd wave, and then we'll click at the bottom of the 4th wave. I'll use the lowest pivot just to give the 5th wave the benefit of the doubt here, and it would have to come to this pink 1.0 to be the same length as our 3rd wave. That's basically how this tool works. So as of right now, this can't be a diagonal because the 3rd wave is longer than the 5th wave. The 5th wave doesn't come past this pink 1.0 or 100% the length of the 3rd wave. In other words, 3rd wave is the longest wave. In a diagonal, this is not possible, so I'm going to delete this. I think that this has to be some sort of corrective price action, and just by eyeballing it, it looks like that as well because we have a lot of sideways choppy movement in through here. So overall, as of right now, this has to be some sort of ABC, or maybe it's an ABC up into here. with that being the A, the B in through there, and that being the C, or something like that. I'm actually going to delete this because we don't have a super strong confidence of what it is for now. We just know that this can't be a 5-wave structure unless price action comes up once again. Then we could relabel it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way up here, with our 5th wave being the longest, and that could potentially be what we're looking at. So overall, not a ton of confidence in this area. This is our most clear thing here, is this ABC into here. And then looking at the rest of our price action, so we have this sharp movement downwards, this ABC, and then all this sideways sort of movement through here. Now, one of the ways that I was originally looking at counting this sharp movement downwards is it looks like a pretty clear 5-wave like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The only problem I see with counting it like this is that the 5th wave into here needs to be a 5-wave structure, and to me, this looks very much like an ABC. I see it very hard to count this as a 5-wave structure. Yes, you could force this in as a 1, 2, 3, a super small 4 in here, which isn't even visible on the 1-hour chart, and then a 5th downwards. But overall, it does look like an ABC structure. Now, to play counter argument a little bit, the A to C ratio is supposed to be somewhere around 1 to 1 or 1 to 1.272. So with our trend-based fib extension tool, we'll measure the length of the A, click at the top and the bottom of it, and then put it at the top of the C. And this pink line or this green to red area is typically the most common spot for that C wave to fall. However, we come all the way down to this green 2.0, or 200% the length of the A is the length of the C. This is actually pretty uncommon as an A to C ratio, but it's just what I'm seeing out of this right now. So I think this is definitely two different options where we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 downwards, and we do have kind of that faked 4 into here, or this is an ABC, and we need to recount up from here. Now, one of the major reasons I don't want to count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, now that we have all of this other price action, is because a 5-wave structure going downwards like this would have to be that original A wave that I was talking about. Then we'd be needing to get that B wave in, which it did look perfect in hindsight here. We had this 5-wave down for A, we have this 3-wave up for a B wave, and then we were just looking for one more low for that C wave to come in. And let me turn on the degree so you can see it, change the color into here just like this. And this is what we were originally looking for, just in the sub 500 range for the C wave to fall. However, this price action that we got through here didn't end up putting a new low in relative to this A. So to count it like this, where we have this 5-wave structure, a 3-wave move up, and then some sort of final push downwards for the C, which would also mean that the bottom of Tesla is in, would have to mean that this C is truncated or not below the bottom of this A. And I personally don't like to count truncations. So I think this is pretty unlikely that this is actually what's happening. So there's definitely still quite a bit of uncertainty because of all this sideways price action and what's going to happen after it. I'm going to give you two different count options moving forward that I think are definitely valid. The first one is that this 5-wave move actually is that 5-wave move, and we do have this ABC, which I think there's no way around this. The only thing I would change about this ABC is that this C wave into here actually looks like a 3-wave ABC itself. Let me turn the degree down. Once again, we want to make sure that we're distinguishing on the right time frame of what each of these are. So I think it basically looks something like this, where this C wave has to be a 5-wave structure if it's labeled as a C, but instead it looks like a 3-wave. So I'm actually going to replace this ABC with a WXY, something like this into here. A WXY is another 3-wave corrective move. It basically just connects ABC, 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 so 3, 3, 3 waves instead of 5, 3, 5, or 3, 3, 5. Essentially, if the final move is a 3-wave move, it's more likely to be this WXY, so that's why I have it like this into here. I'm going to remove the little green ABC and we'll move forward from here. So if this is an original 5-wave structure and we have this WXY that's into here, it basically means that our B wave has to not be in because, again, we need that C wave to come below this A wave into here. So we would need to still be working on this B wave to have a C wave later on. I'm going to turn up the degree now, once again, keeping these straight, and it would look something like this. A, we're still working on this B on a much larger degree here, and then a C to finish downwards here. Now the way this B could play out is quite a few different options. We could have something like a super large triangle forming, where this is the A wave of the triangle, the B wave, maybe we're in the C right now, D, E of the triangle. So just to throw that onto the chart, something like this, A, B, C, D, E. and then eventually this triangle would finish for us. Maybe the C is already in, maybe it's not. That would be the end of the B wave wherever this E finishes, and we'd get one more push downwards for this green C wave. If this is a 5-wave structure, this is the best count I see right now, because we do need to break these A lows at some point, and with all this sideways choppy action, it definitely does look like some sort of triangle. I'll leave this as option number 1 and not dive too deep into if I think this C wave is already finished, what we're doing into here, because it's super choppy and again, really hard to tell as of right now. All we'd know is that the A is definitely up here, B is definitely up here, and the C has to come between the A and the B, the D between the B and the C, and then the E somewhere between the C and the D. Essentially, all pivots have to be inside of each other, and we might end up finishing something like this, finish that B wave, head down for that green C wave in that same price target. So now I'm going to take quite a step backwards here, and I'm going to go back to that ABC that I see into here, that we kind of faked into a 5-wave to finish a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here, because that 5th wave would need to be a 5-wave structure. So if this is instead an ABC, I think there's another possible count in here which I also like. So if we've got the ABC off of this pivot into here, I think we've also got an ABC from our peak into here, something like this. So now we've got a whole bunch of ABCs into here, and as I said earlier, this basically all connects in some sort of larger WXY. So this first ABC that we have here would be our W, and then I think we actually would have an ABC into here for our X wave, and then working on that Y wave right now. So overall, this would look something like this, where this would be our ABC of our X wave. This is our ABC into our W, ABC into our X, and then maybe we've already formed the A of our Y wave into here, just like this, forming the B of the Y wave right now, and the C to push us downwards in through here. So overall, ABC into our W, expanded flat ABC into our X, where the B comes below the A into here. That's what we call an expanded flat. And then A, B, C into our Y wave. So overall, which count is more likely? Well, honestly, I'm not too sure. And until we break out of this sideways price action or we continue it much further, it's hard to know which of these two are going to play out. Overall, though, you can see that both of my counts are still leading us towards a sub $500 target, and that's definitely still where I'm targeting on Tesla. So what trade am I actually taking? Well, for now, I don't own any Tesla and I don't want to short a stock personally. So I'm going to keep waiting on the sideline before I really load up my portfolio with Tesla shares or long option contracts to the call side. Now you could try and play put contracts into here for the longer term play into here. However, I think it's a bit too choppy to actually take a price action trade because we've, like I said, been moving sideways since March of this year for the last 5 or so months. So for now, I'm not going to play anything on this, and I'm still looking for that final price action push downwards to sub 500 on Tesla. Now it's worth noting that once we do get into this price action, I'm going to be loading up on Tesla in this range into here, somewhere around $465 down to $330 on Tesla. I'll be looking for a bottom in that area on one of my two counts, depending on how the price action moves over the next month or two. And I think that'll be a once in a lifetime opportunity to purchase Tesla at these prices into here. Because if we just zoom back out, we have this 1, 2 on a larger scale. If we ignore all this choppy stuff of us trying to figure out how we're getting down to this 2, which is of course important for prediction, but once this 2 actually does finish, do not forget this is actually just forming a 1, 2 on a larger degree, moving us up towards new all-time highs for this third wave afterwards. So what are some possible price targets? We'll use the trend-based Fib extension tool for this, and we'll click at the bottom and the top of our 1, and then at the bottom of our 2, let's say it falls somewhere inside of the middle of this box into here. The most likely spot for a third wave to fall in Elliott Wave Theory is between this 1.618 and 1.75, or from about $1,800 to about $1,900 on Tesla will be my prediction for this third wave. So of course, if you can buy somewhere around $400 with a target of $1,900, that's not too bad of a trade and definitely one I would be taking if I were you. Now, after that third wave peaks, we'll get some sort of fourth wave pullback and then a fifth wave to put in new all-time highs, likely above $2,000 on Tesla. Now, I don't think this is going to happen overnight or even super fast. It'll probably take at least a year for us to head up towards that $2,000 price target. But again, it'll be an awesome spot to buy long options or long shares inside of this $340 to $440 target. And that's where I'm looking right now. So while there's no immediate trade to take, I hope you were able to learn something from this video. I hope you can take it forward. And if we do come down to this price target that I'm predicting on Tesla, I hope you're able to act on it and actually make a great trade from here based on the information you've learned. So overall, if you like this content, if you want to see more similar content, do me a favor and click that like and subscribe buttons below. This helps me out a ton. It helps YouTube suggest the right content to you, and I really appreciate the support. And lastly, if you want to trade stocks, options, crypto with me and many of other people, I have a link to my free Discord in the description below. Feel free to click that and come hang out with us, ask me questions, and get my updated views on Tesla or Bitcoin every single day without having to wait for more YouTube videos. So again, thank you so much for watching, and as always, good luck trading.